You're like, who's it, Daniel Day-Lewis that never watches any of his movies?
I don't want to inflate our numbers artificially.
Oh, so you're worried about number count.
Yeah.
I just thought you did it for the art.
No. Absolutely not. Now, if there's a number, if we're like at 99 or something, and you're like, I'm fucking pressing play.
Fuck it, I'm getting us over that threshold, baby.
We're pressing play.
I hear you.
But we haven't really been there.
Shh.
Hit it.
Welcome to the Coach's Sons podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, Chris. Get it up. That is the sound of two men who are on vacation. Holy shit, it feels good. It is July. Oh, I don't know the date.
Shit. Today is the 16th.
Yes.
So today is Tuesday. We've got the All-Star game on in the background. You will be listening to this episode on Friday.
Correct.
Reason being, Andrew and I, as we just announced, will be on vacation. We will be in Colorado, stinking up some sort of golf course out there.
God. We're going to play so bad.
We have a golf every day. Well, so that's why we're recording today on Tuesday. As we said in previous episodes, we figured this was a good time to kind of get a pretty decent recap of everything that's gone on in the season in terms of standings, a few things we got right or wrong along the way. So figure a good check-in point. What better than All-Star break?
I completely agree. And right now the All-Star game is on behind us. Those jerseys are hideous. I don't want to look at it, but it is what it is.
It's not on yet. 8 o'clock was the start time. It's not going to start till like 8:30.
Yeah, you're right.
Unbelievable.
Anyways, speaking of the All-Star break, Chris, let's just dive into it. Let's just talk about the home run derby. And by talk about, I mean, let's talk about how we didn't give two shits about it the entire time.
This is bad baseball podcasting.
We are bad fans.
I watched 0 seconds of the home run derby
swing
because I was playing college football. NCAA came out yesterday.
Tell me that's why.
Yeah, dude. I was knee deep in a rebuild with Sam Houston State University.
Yeah, okay.
I am like 4-5. I stink.
Yeah,
it's way harder than I thought.
Shoving
but
it.
that's I didn't watch a second of it. I had people texting me the whole time. I didn't even answer. I was like, sorry guys, like I just didn't.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Behind the curtain, literally, Chris and I were like, okay, we should talk about it, and we both agreed. And then I was like, hand up, I didn't watch a single swing. He goes, me neither. So I was like, who won?
So Teoscar Hernandez did win. I did wake up this morning. I knew he won last night, of course.
Right.
But I woke up this morning, sent a text. I didn't send it to you, I don't think. And I was like, Teoscar Hernandez was once a Mariner, and our cheap fuck of an owner wouldn't extend him a qualifying offer because he was afraid that he would accept the $20 million for the 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's an all-star. He is winning the home run derby.
Making some money that way.
One other call out, not home run derby related, but just based on Teoscar Hernandez. I don't know how it came up or who even asked the goddamn question, but apparently it came up his time in Seattle and his hitting and what affected him and impacted him. And what he was saying was something along the lines of the batter's eye in Seattle is odd, I guess the word I'll use is. It's just like not, I don't think it's centered. I saw some weird protractor bullshit tweets, but apparently it's not centered and it messes with your depth perception. And like if you really like unfurl this onion, right? You go down to its core. You're like, well, no shit. I guess that could make sense as to why every hitter struggles when they come to Seattle.
So you're talking about basically the backdrop on the pitcher,
the batter's eye, that giant green monstrosity up above his shoulder.
Interesting.
So apparently it messes with, at least for him personally, it messes with his depth perception. But he also said something on the lines of like, yes, I can't, like, I know that it affected other people as well.
Interesting. Like it's like when you watch a game and you see it's like a midday game and you see the shadows between like the pitcher's mound and home plate. You're like, that's bullshit. Like that is unfair for a batter when that happens. So
Seattle's just not doing it right.
Well,
Teoscar wins.
Good for
apparently, again, this is all second, third hand from social media. Apparently, there's a bit of controversy. I think Bobby Witt Jr. like just missed a home run in the final seconds.
Oh, did he?
To tie, yeah. So okay, let's back up. Do you clearly the answer is no, we don't care, but like how much do you care about the home run derby? I used to love the home run derby.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's two events in the sport world during the All-Star time that I used to love as a kid: the slam dunk contest and the home run derby.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know, like I found it very hard for me to be like, oh, I gotta watch this, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, they hit a lot of home runs. They changed the format back to what I was used to, essentially.
No, it was different. Again, I didn't watch.
Well, they changed it again, but it was by outs instead of just like hit as many as you possibly could. I thought
it was timed, and then there was a maximum.
This shows
amount.
how much we didn't even care.
Pathetic.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
it wasn't great. Or in terms of the format, like it wasn't
Right.
what you were accustomed to. I don't know if I've ever said this before. I feel like I had to because I get the chance. I try to brag about it every chance I get. I was at the home run derby that Josh Hamilton did his thing at.
Jeez, that one.
I was in right field.
Shit, you were in right
Me
field.
and three of my
So
other
he hit the
best
balls
friends.
over your head the entire time.
Yes, he was just mashing. He was hitting the ball out of the goddamn stadium.
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
just
wild.
bashing the wall above my head.
And maybe
So like
that's what it is.
the home run derby.
Maybe
to
that's
me.
what it is. Like, you know, the McGuire days or whatever. They were hitting the ball so much further, and it was just wild to see.
It's also
I don't
not
know.
a positive spin on Josh Hamilton. He's a piece of shit.
Right.
However, that event was awesome.
That event was great.
And
Yeah.
we had a blast. And we always talk about it, right? Every home run derby, like you see the clips of him doing that, and you're like, yeah, I was there. Like we
Yeah,
were
that's pretty amazing.
in right field while he was doing it.
Well, and you know, Pete Alonso loses his crown finally after.
What a cornball! But I still want him on the Mariners.
You still want him on the Mariners?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he takes that shit seriously. But you
His
know,
entire existence is
it
the
is.
home run
I mean,
derby,
look,
and
he
it's
probably
weird.
makes more money off that than he does from the Mets.
Another pure speculation at this point. I did zero depth beyond the initial tweet that I saw, but apparently, for his participation in said home run derby, he like practically requested to be an all-star, and like in doing so, he became the Mets like
Representative. Yeah.
And Lindor didn't get in, and
Yeah.
Lindor's light years better than
That's
Alonso.
true. Interesting.
Regardless, that's
knows?
us talking home run derby.
So is there anything you think that would make you want to watch it?
I didn't. I didn't even put it on my iPad.
But do you think there's anything that would make you want? Like, what would make you want to watch it? I think that's the question. All right, as baseball purists and lovers, what does it take for them to? Because we should be the ones who dial into this shit, right?
In terms
or
of,
is the home run derby for the casuals?
In terms of how much like money and, you know, injury risk that comes with doing events like this comes, like, I think it's a lost art, if you will, that these guys are going to keep doing it. Right? Shohei has done it before, but now he's worth billions of dollars. He just doesn't give a shit. Right? So you're just not seeing, like, imagine, would you not watch if it was Judge, Harper, Ohtani, Trout, like, you know, Stanton, right?
Stanton,
you name your top 8 to 10 power hitters, and you put them all in one, like your who's who of power hitters.
Maybe that's what it is. It's the actual best hitters. But I don't think they do that anymore because they're afraid of fucking their swing up, right?
Well, yeah, you screw your swing up, and especially like, yes, the 10 outs things was great for us as a fan. You love seeing it, but imagine the amount of swings they're actually taking. If they're, you know, you're getting exhausted and all of that, and like most of those guys are playing in the game itself. It's a whole thing. I hate it, but it's just the truth of the matter. It's just these guys are worth way more than they've ever been.
Yeah.
And for any a fan of, if a Dodgers fan watches Ohtani strain his back in the home run derby, you're like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that's definitely fair.
So I think it's a weird catch-all. Like, sure, I'm not saying I'm boycotting the home run derby. It's just I didn't watch it. College football came out, and that
it just didn't pique my interest. And I think it's fair to say if we had the big names, I would, like, if Judge was in the home run derby, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Ohtani, yes. So maybe that's what it is. It's just like the slam dunk contest. If LeBron did it back in his heyday, I would have watched it every single time.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Same idea.
And same idea. So
I still want him in it, and I know it'll
he's like 50 years
and
old.
I know it's going to be deflated.
Yeah. So
but that was talking home run derby.
Yep.
All-Star game. First pitch has just been thrown. Second pitch, actually, it's a 1-1 count. First pitch was a ball, if you had bet that at all. But Corbin Burns on the mound for the American League. Paul Skeens gets the nod for the National League.
Man,
pretty awesome.
He is the MLB darling, isn't he?
Okay, right before the All-Star break, his last start.
Yep.
He had a no-hitter through 7.
Yep.
was at, I think, 99 pitches, hair under 100.
Mm-hmm.
Did Rob Manfred pull Paul Skeens from that game so he could start the All-Star game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
with
100%.
it.
Yeah.
Manfred made that call.
No,
That had
you're out.
nothing to do with anybody in the Pirates organization. And the other, Jay Hay tweeted this, and something I wouldn't think of, and that's why I follow him and steal his stuff to
Yep.
give him credit for. Aaron Judge is batting cleanup for the AL. So there is a chance that Skeens just doesn't face Aaron Judge. How do you allow that to happen?
Ooh.
Like how? Why would that? Why would it not be Gunnar, Soto, Judge? Instead, they put Steven Kwan at leadoff, and you're like, and I'm not saying Steven Kwan's not all. He's a great player, all that.
Get him out of the top of the order.
Hit him eighth. We're fine. But anyway, All-Star game's going on right now. If we weren't podcasting, I'd probably be in the same boat. I honestly have 10 times less interest in the All-Star game than I do the Home Run Derby, especially since it's back to not. I don't
It doesn't
think
mean anything anymore, right?
Well, it shouldn't have meant anything ever anyway. So
Right.
I disliked it then, but you watch because it meant something.
But I actually I liked when the winner would get home field for their league. I thought that added incentive, which I liked. So
Sure.
But now that it doesn't even have that, like, what's really the point?
Yeah, it's just
You know what I mean? Like,
just a thing. Everybody's gonna throw an inning. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna maybe hit twice the starters, and
yeah.
that's it.
I mean,
It's an event for fans.
But I think it's more a casual event, to be quite honest with you, than people who care about the game itself. Because people like us don't. I mean, we just don't really care for the. I mean, yeah, okay, cool. All the best players are on one team. It's for those guys, those casuals that like to make super teams on the show. You know what I mean? It's not for people who actually care about the game.
I mean, the word casual like sticks out. Like I don't. And it might mean different to different people, but to me, it's like, I'm not like gonna rag on somebody for caring or loving.
Oh
the
no,
All-Star
I don't
game
think
or whatever.
I'm not
It's just-
ragging on them. I'm just
it's
saying
just a matter
not,
of
it's
I
not
don't
built
care.
for
Yeah, it's not something that matters to me particularly. And yes, we are watching as we're trying to talk because it is cool to see Ohtani face some of the best. But that's where we're at with it. That's the All-Star game. We're gonna be tuned into skiing. So if you hear a little bit of dead space, we're just watching.
because we're watching him throw a
light up the
1,000 miles
radar
an
gun.
hour.
Did we miss anything else?
No, we didn't miss anything, Chris. So let's jump into the halfway point. So what we want to do is we want to talk about essentially where the divisions stand, how we stacked up at the beginning. If you remember, if you have not listened, please feel free to go back and listen to our preseason show where we tried to predict all of the standings. And so we're going to see where we stacked up. We're going to call out a couple of the breakout regressions we got right. And then once we're done with each league, we'll talk about the MVP so far, the Cy Young so far, and the Rookie of the Year. And maybe if we have time, we'll throw out a dud, so a dud of the half. So, but anyways, Chris, let's start with the AL West.
AL West, getting it started early. I am happy but sad to announce that the Seattle Mariners are in first place of the American League West.
Let's go. You got that right.
They are ahead by one single solitary game.
Oh, it's down to one. Ooh.
Yeah.
You said by the All-Star break you were going to be behind, so you're wrong. So
They did everything in their goddamn power. The Astros lost to the Mariners. To take this on a Mariners spiel for 30 seconds.
Do it.
The last time the Seattle Mariners gained a game on the Astros, so meaning they won a game that the Astros lost, was like June 28th. And prior to that was June 15th.
Oh, that's bad.
So all they've done,
Is
all the
lose
Astros
ground.
have done is gain 9 games of placement since when I don't even know when it was, but we were up 10 games at some point.
Yeah, it's rough.
Speaking of that, yes, the Astros are second, 1 game back.
Yep.
4 games over 500 at 50 and 46.
Okay.
Texas Rangers, 4 games under 500, but only 5 games out. That'll be interesting because they're a weird team.
Yep.
The Angels, 41 and 55, not so great. We kind of knew that. They're 10 games out, and the A's stink, but are one of the better bottom of the barrel teams, I suppose.
Chris, you got the standings perfect. So
Spot
far.
on right now.
I
How about
did not,
that?
I did not.
There's a lot, buddy. I have no confidence that Seattle gets the job done.
but good job. You predicted
I am
perfectly
straight.
halfway through the
1
season.
through 5.
Awesome. Well done, sir. Well done. What about breakout regressions? Have we called any of those? I know a couple of them that I've gotten right.
The one I would say, and I think you should go with the same team potentially, but Zach Neto is one I had. And, it's not anything crazy. He's not a superstar by any means, but he has a 2.6 WAR, has double-digit home runs. He's got 12 home runs. This is all baseball reference, by the way. 14 stolen bases. It is only a 735 OPS, but it feels like he's like making a difference for this particular team. Mm-hmm. One guy, he's an up and down. So I have two sets of stats for us here, and we both picked Hunter Brown, right?
Because that was one of the names.
Because Cammy went with the mini Verlander, right?
Yep,
Cammy in Houston.
Verlander, yep.
So from June 2nd to July 2nd,
he's been great.
He is 6-1 in 49 innings, 52 strikeouts, 2.39 ERA, and that includes a start in which he gave up 7 earned runs. He had a 6.39 ERA, 49 innings, 53 strikeouts. That kind of stayed the same.
Yep.
1-5. He just wasn't good.
Yeah, no.
They lost 9 of the 11 games he started. Like, he was horrendous to start the year, and it was like, what is wrong with this guy?
We
like, is
definitely
he
were
down?
we're off on this at the beginning of the year.
He's very bad. He was very bad, and now he's very good.
Now
he's turning into a very good player for them. So we both had Brown. I had Neto. The rest of them kind of.
I think the other one I would call out is I said Langford.
Yeah,
who I think is probably a rookie of the year.
He's starting to come along.
Because the AL's, I don't think the rookie of the year is as strong in the AL side as it is the NL. So I do think that he has a shot at it. So that's the only other one I would call out. So, all right. So you have no confidence that the Mariners are
very little to none, unless they make 2 big trades in the next week and a half.
Gotcha. So I am in agreement with you. I think the Astros will overtake them. I don't think the Rangers will. So I think my standings will be off because I think the Mariners will come in second. But I think the other two are obvious. The bottom feeders, but I think
it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah, the Astros are going to make a move. I hope Seattle does too, so it could get interesting. But I think I agree with you. I think it's going to be Astros, Mariners, Rangers. So that's kind of where my head's at.
I've seen some reports the Rangers might try to move Scherzer. They might pack it in and try again next year.
Oh, I got you.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we're.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know how they feel.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get more into it when we talk wild card because I have a soapbox to get on when we get to there.
Love that.
But I think that's enough, right? Like. Sorry, I made it a big deal. I thought there was going to be more to say, but you're right. It's a 2-horse race with the Rangers kind of lingering around.
Yeah,
but
the Rangers are the wild card of the 3.
But if it were Mariners, Rangers, Astros, I'd be like, oh, the Astros are lingering around. They're dangerous. I don't feel that way about the Rangers right now.
I agree with you.
And I don't know why. Like, I know why. Their pitching isn't phenomenal.
Yes,
their bats haven't been as good as they were last year.
Right.
Garcia's underperforming a little bit.
If the Rangers somehow turn it on, that's going to be massive, and they have.
They'll score if that offense turns it on. They'll score 8 runs a game.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I will be. They're definitely the team that could be the wild card. Like if you tell me they finished second, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
If you told me they finished close to 4th, I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Yeah,
the Angels have kind of overperformed too. So
yeah, they're 5 games up on the Angels. Who cares?
You can make that up. I mean, you've seen what the Astros have done. So,
all right.
All right. Anyways, Central, what you got?
So, arguably, surprisingly, the best division, second best division.
Yeah.
It depends on how you want to argue it. A very good division somehow.
Well, I don't know. I think the White Sox bring all the averages down.
We're not even going to talk about them. They're going to have a fire sale.
Do they get to 50 wins?
20. Oh boy.
Right? Okay. Do they get to 50?
98 games. I'm not doing the rest of the math. What's that? 60.
Gun to your head, Chris. Go. 3,
25,
2,
15. No.
1. No, I'm with you. No, I don't.
47.
Yeah, I was going to say 48. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they hit 50.
They are. Yeah, by far the worst team in Major League
It's not even
Baseball.
close.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the Rockies are bad too, but
not as bad.
Yeah, the White Sox are
record-wise.
so much worse.
They're going to get rid of everybody. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. So let's go bottom to top.
Wait, hold on. Who's the White Sox rep for the All-Star game?
It's got to be Crochet.
Oh, you're right. Okay, sorry.
If
Move
he
on.
showed up, I don't know, but it
Move
should
on.
be him. So we'll go bottom to top here. Detroit Tigers. They are 3 games under 500. They're 47-50. Kind of right about where we were, right? We both had them under 80.5 wins, which is a game under 500.
Right, exactly.
Right. So we were pretty spot on there. They're not ready. One big thing I saw today, some reports that some teams are calling about Tariq Skubal. I think we spoke that into existence.
No. Holy crap.
Pick the two. You must not have seen it because you didn't mention it. Name the 2 teams that are interested.
The 2 teams that are interested in Skubal, the Dodgers.
Don't think too much into
and
it.
the Yankees.
The Orioles.
The
What did I tell you?
Orioles.
What did I tell you?
The Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles can get any single solitary player that they want.
Fuck,
you
if they
you will
get
leave that
Burn
trade
Skubal?
when that trade
messy.
happens. You're going. A lot of people are going to be like, they gave up too much. It doesn't matter because they have so many of them.
That's wild.
So
Okay.
But anyway, the Tigers might just go back into another rebuild,
Right.
and just rebuild forever. That's how they operate.
Sucks to be a Tigers fan.
This one sucks. The Kansas City Royals are 7 games over 500. They are 52-45. We had, what did we have? We had them under 74 wins. So if they win 22 games the rest of the way, we're gonna miss those.
This is probably the worst take we've had.
We both had them 4th.
Yeah.
So I guess that's not far off, but they have a.
I mean, they're going to get more. They're going to get enough wins, but we were so convinced that
They have a better win percentage than the Mariners right now.
Yeah.
Like barely, but they do.
Man. Tigers need to get
So
their shit
here's the
together.
thing, though, and this is going to evolve into wild card because it's going to be tight. They're 7 games out of the division, but they're the same. They have a little bit of a better win percentage than Seattle Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the hunt for the wild card. The Royals are 7 games over 500. Minnesota Twins,
Yep.
54-42. That's 12 games over. I think we predicted them. No, we both had them winning.
We both had them
We had them winning
Yeah.
it. They're playing good baseball. They don't really make too much sense as rosters constructed. Royce Lewis shows up every 3 weeks and hits 4 home runs in a week and a half and then gets hurt again. If he stays healthy, if Correa stays healthy, maybe they
knows?
make another
Yeah.
addition. I'm not sure. So 12 games over 500. They're
Yep.
4.5 back.
Yep. I was talking to. Sorry, Skeens just threw a fucking flame.
There's that silence I was talking about.
I was talking to Tyler. He's the one who did our Twins preview last week, and he's like, I'm pleasantly surprised that he feels like the Guardians are overperforming, and hoping that they come back down to earth a little so that they can continue to chase. He still doesn't think they'll make any big moves during the break, which they kind of have to if they want to keep up. But I think if you're a Twins fan, you got to be happy where you're at.
You can't be. You're 12 games over 500.
Yeah, you have
What
to
are you
be
going to
happy.
complain about?
Well, not being in first.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, you could complain, but yeah, okay, we do get Judge. I was bitching about that
here
earlier.
we go.
We got Skeens Judge coming up.
Chris, do you want to pause?
The podcast?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right.
We'll just kind of live.
All right, cool.
Live do
Okay,
it. I
here we
guess.
go. All right.
See about a broadcast career, I suppose.
I don't
But-
have a broadcast career.
But anyway, 12 games over 500. Your Minnesota Twins are playing good baseball. They are in a position where they should try to make a move. Who or what that is, I have no idea, but they're in it.
Yeah.
And they're in a wild card spot as it sits. Was that just a bullet of a ground ball to third base?
Yep.
1 pitch, 1 out. Livy Dunn in the crowd, of course. Skeens gets it done. Thanks for coming. Yeah, everybody could turn the All-Star game off.
Exactly.
now,
Who cares anymore?
including us.
Now that we saw Livy, we're good.
With all that said, first place is 21. How is this? Okay.
Math is hard.
58-37. That's 21 games over. They're 21 games over 500 right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Cleveland Guardians.
They're playing their asses off.
What are they doing that other teams aren't? Like what? I'll tell you what. They're not giving up runs.
I'm gonna say their pitching.
Their pitching's
great.
phenomenal. Class A
Jay
at the
was
back
correct
end is
about
killing
that.
it. He was. different guy. Tristan McKenzie got sent down to AAA,
Yep.
so he is sure as shit wasn't the guy, but everybody else
Everybody else stepped
Oh,
up.
and they don't have Bieber.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it. They did just get Gavin Williams back. I know I think I picked him to be a breakout, but he's pitched like 3 games. They've given up the 3rd least amount of runs of any team in Major League Baseball this year.
Dang.
They have an 8. You love this stat. They have plus 85 run differential.
Love that. Love that.
I know you do. And they are, they're a home team merchant. They are 30-11 at home.
Damn. You do not want to play them in their house.
No, they're coming to play. Well, listen, there's another team that, like, I don't know what they need to do. They need to add. They need to go get somebody. Who do they get, and how do they get them?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how deep their farm system is, if I'm being honest. They're one of those teams, though, that, I mean, yeah, they're going to add depth, but they're not going after a name because their team's playing so well. They don't need something marquee. You know, they just need depth. And I would assume it's bullpen, to be honest with you. Someone to help class A or class.
At this stage of the game, though, are you're the GM of the Cleveland Guardians. Are you more concerned about now the entire makeup of the AL? Are you now getting to a point where you're like, hey,
Yes.
we need to beat the Yankees
Correct.
or the Orioles?
Yes.
What do we need to do that?
Yep.
Screw the Twins. Right. Like, yes. We still have
100%.
to
I am
beat
looking at
teams.
these lineups going, where are their weaknesses? Left-handed pitching? Great. I'm going to go get a left-handed pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
So those are the types of moves that they should be making.
Yes.
And again, out of the Central, they're all overperform. These 3 teams are well overperforming. At
Agreed.
least what I thought they were going to do.
Agreed.
And they all the Royals made the first move of the year, really. Of the trade deadline, they got Hunter Harvey, so they got bullpen help.
From
the Nationals.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Nothing,
yeah.
but again, that's a decent piece. He's a guy who's commanding a little bit. So these teams are going to make moves, but they're the Centrals. So they're going to be like these little budgetary type things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Neither of us got the standings right.
We're wrong. We both had Twins first. I had Guardians second.
I did too.
Yeah, we had same order: Twins, Guardians, Tigers, Royals.
And we were wrong on all of it. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I don't really think we got any of the breakouts correct either.
Not one. You picked regression for Bobby Witt Jr.
I picked regression. I'm wrong there. How's BB doing? I haven't even looked at his stats. Is he pitching okay? Because that's probably the only thing I think we got close on would be Tanner BB. But
I'll say average.
Okay. Yeah.
3.7,
Not a breakout.
7 ERA.
3.70 ERA. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Average,
Yeah,
3 starter.
That's not bad. Okay. Yeah. So we did not get breakout regression.
We
in
did
the
not.
Central.
But again, such a weird division because even in terms of peek behind the curtain, even in terms of listeners, this was one of the lesser
People
listened
didn't care.
to ones.
Yeah,
right?
people just didn't care.
Not
No.
a ton of fans, at least that listen to us right now, that are based for the Central teams.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit about the White Sox, but you get the point.
So what's our feelings towards how this is going to finish out? I think, to be quite honest with you, it's what it is now. I think the Guardians continue to play well. I don't think the Twins can make up ground.
It's 4.5.
Unless they make a move that surprises us, which I don't
think the
expect.
Guardians win the division.
I agree.
And I think the bigger conversation
Twins
for
versus
the
Royals
is that, but it's going to be in terms of wild card.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily Twins versus Royals. It's Twins versus Royals versus Mariners versus Astros versus
fair.
whomever from the AL East when we get there in a second.
Yep.
So I think we're going to get much more involved in a
Agreed.
10 minutes.
But I think
when we
it's
get to the wild
definitely
card.
the Guardians.
That's who I'm going with.
Yep.
I still have no faith in the Royals. Still screw them.
Yeah,
for
fuck the
always, ever and always.
Forever and ever, amen.
We can't do it. Let's jump to the East.
Gotcha.
You got standings pulled up, or am I reading them
You're reading
again?
standings.
Here we go. All right. Worst to first. Worst, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh, weird.
Riley and Jesse are in a weird spot.
It sucks.
So, you just don't expect the Toronto Blue Jays to be the worst team in that division.
No.
They're 14 games under.
Ooh.
No. Take that back. 8 games under, 14 games back.
Okay.
Read that
makes
wrong.
sense. Okay.
Dyslexia comes for us all. Your favorite stat, negative 66 run differential.
Woo-wee.
They
Not
are
good.
giving up a lot of runs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no one's pitching over there.
Give up a lot of runs.
Yep.
And they're not really scoring a ton either. It's a weird time in Toronto. I went on their podcast last week after the Mariners series, kind of talked with them a little bit. We went over some potential trade deals. Maybe the Blue Jays and Mariners could do some trades, but it is all but a given that they're going to be sellers. Now, who they sell and what they sell, I don't know, right? I don't know if they dip into Vladdy or not. That'll be a storyline in the coming weeks. But
That'll be so huge if they move Vlad. I mean,
correct. I don't know where they go if they do that, right? Because they have guys like Dalton Varsho who will make an impact on some team, right? Kiermaier defensively can make an impact somewhere. That kind of Falefa can be just a utility guy. They have pieces that they can get stuff for. How much they get, I have no idea. So I think it's a sad time to be a Blue Jays fan right now. Vlad comes to Seattle, everything's okay. No, I'm joking there, but they're going to be sellers. They're going to pack it in. It'll be interesting to see who or what they sell and how they operate from there. The Tampa Bay Rays are exactly 500. They are 48-48.
You know what? They're going to figure it out.
They're 10 games back overall. They're 5.5 back in the wild card. I don't know. They're another team that's been linked to selling.
But do they ever really sell? Is the question.
Well, no, they're gonna we'll call them retooling.
Yeah.
Everybody else sells, they retool.
They figure it out.
They'll trade their names, right? They might get rid of Isaac Paredes or Yandy Diaz, or there's somebody else. It might be just them two.
Yeah.
But they'll get rid of those guys and find 2 prospects from somebody, and those guys will be in the league in a year and a half, and they'll be making a contribution for the Rays, and it doesn't make sense. But I think in that regard, they'll be sellers. Taj Bradley's been a bit of a welcome surprise for them. Their pitching hasn't really been their bread and butter as it has in the past, so they haven't really been able to lean on that as much. So they're just kind of mid. They are what they are.
Yeah. And we both had the Rays finishing 4th too, so we got
did,
that point,
and we had them
right?
under 84 and a half,
84,
which
so
would be right at, if they were 500, they'd be under.
Seems like we're on pace for that.
We're on pace.
Yeah. So the Rays are for once not overperforming. So
they're
we
doing
called
just
that
what
part right.
they expect them to do. They're being exactly who we thought they
Mid
were.
as fuck.
This is the biggest surprise of the East because we both had these guys dead last. Both Diddy and Steve had these guys just dead to rights. The Boston Red Sox are 11 games over 500. They're 53-42. They're 4.5 back of the Orioles. And I think, and we'll rehash it in a second, but I think they're in a wild card spot as it sits right this moment.
So I would say the Red Sox to me are the biggest surprise of
Like anybody
of
of the
year.
AL, let's say
I mean, definitely the AL, maybe even AL NL.
the league, the entire league.
Like the entire league, yeah. But okay, we're talking about AL. They are absolutely the biggest surprise of the AL.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They found
the pitching's been amazing.
They found pitchers that are just coming out there and doing what they need to do.
Devers is playing amazing.
Well, yeah, he's a top player in the league.
I know, but he's
almost
playing
said a
really
number
well.
That I
Yeah.
didn't mean.
Yeah.
He's a top 20 player in the league.
I'd agree with that.
Okay,
for sure.
I almost said 10. I was like, that's
No.
high. See, that's why I said I stopped myself. But listen, no, and Jaron Duran is breaking out. He's playing his ass off.
Playing
right?
amazing.
He's putting up numbers. They're finding these guys. The guy you picked, Sadine Raphael. I
center
butchered that
fielder.
name.
Yeah, he's
I
playing
don't know
well.
where he's playing. He's playing everywhere.
Center
I think
field.
Duran plays center field.
Well, he's playing outfield. Yeah.
He's playing everywhere.
He's playing everywhere. For
Steve
sure.
will yell at me because he's gonna be like, "You should know this."
Right.
But Tyler O'Neill, playing well. Like they're just kind of all of those
figured it out. They're
guys
figuring
who
it out.
were like, "Oh, we added this guy. Who the hell cares?" Like they're all contributing in a meaningful fashion, and they don't have Casas yet. Really.
Right.
Casas has been out most of the year. Are they a candidate for regression? Like as much as they've surprised now, is it fair to say that they're the one they're like, okay, I'm not worried about them? The Red Sox will go away.
I do think so. I feel that way about them. The Tigers too, and then
Well, the Tigers are dead.
yeah, well, oh yeah,
We
but
claim them dead.
okay, well then maybe so. Red Sox, Rangers, who's more likely to fall by the wayside? You think?
Well,
Because I say Red Sox, but also
it depends on where you're at. Because the Red Sox are way better right now.
I agree.
There-
but like
there's
if they regress more towards the mean, but if they have to really fall off a cliff, I think, for us to be like it's worse than
They
what
were
the Rangers
projected
are
to be
doing.
very bad.
Very bad.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to them. You run
Yeah.
with it, but I
I
don't know.
wanted
If
I
they've
wanted
given-
them to be good, so I'm happy
I don't
that they're
know
better.
if they've given any indication. Steve will let me know after the fact. Maybe Diddy will too. But I don't know if they've given any indication that they'll try to be a buyer at the deadline
right.
now. You were trying to sell their whole goddamn team a week and a
Jesus,
half ago.
I wanted all of their pitchers.
You wanted
so-
yeah, they're not getting rid of anybody.
They're
They're going to
not.
make a race for it. Again,
I don't know. I mean,
mind you, there's still 2 weeks till the deadline.
Yeah,
Shit can
beginning
hit
of the
fan.
season, the fans made it sound like Diddy and them made it sound like the owners were pieces of shit and they weren't going to do anything. They're just there to make money. So
I mean, they haven't. These guys just overperformed.
so at this point, like, well, what's the point of us selling? Because we're doing just fine.
But they might stay
know,
status quo. So they
They'll
might
status
stay the
quo.
same.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay. We'll get more into them in the
Which I
wild
hate.
card, but they're in third place. They're hovering. They're 4.5 back. They're not having a bad season. It's just these other two teams are having stellar seasons. One of them being the second place New York Yankees, 58-40, 1 game back of the Baltimore Orioles, who are 58-38. So in soccer, we'd call that 2 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
2 juggernauts at this point. Let's just talk to them at the same time. You've got an offense. Here. You like this? Runs scored. Yankees 488. Orioles 474. Ooh. Runs against Orioles 394. Yankees 382.
Yep.
So in terms of differential, the Yankees are a little better. 26 runs to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking 2 very potent offenses.
Yep.
You're talking 2 very good pitching staffs.
Yep.
Over whatever you want to call them, overperforming. I don't know.
Above average.
Yeah, they're pitching well. I mean, headlinered by aces, right? Corbin Burns, Garrett Cole is kind of working his way
Cole's
back.
trying to get back,
but
Burns
he's
has
not the
been
ace.
Burns has been legit.
Burns is the guy.
Burns is
was and always will be. I love Corbin Burns.
Yep.
But Grayson's been pitching very well for
Yep.
them. They've been getting their. I'm losing it off the top of my head. Like the rest of their starters have been kind of falling into place,
Yep.
even after losing. Bradish. And John Means.
Yep.
So they're doing their thing. The Yankees are just they're mashing, right? Aaron Judge is a man possessed. Again, I'm going to say it until somebody smartens up. We need to just stop pitching to the goddamn guy.
Well, again, they stopped pitching to Bonds. When do they stop pitching to Judge? Because what was it like? So Bonds dominated for what is his 8 years that he was basically home run god. Was it that long?
I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, he's incredible.
They started walking him year 3? Like the dude got walked more than he did anything else. I think around year 3, they're like, "Oh, we're going to stop pitching to Barry Bonds." So you would think next year we're not pitching to Judge.
But it should be now. Like we're gonna get into games that sure, you're not gonna tell Corbin Burns to pitch around Aaron Judge. I get that, but you can tell. I pulled up their pitchers here. You could tell Dean Kremer to fucking pitch around Aaron Judge here. Put him on.
Don't
Give
even pitch to him. Just tell him to walk. Yeah.
Give him 4. Right.
We don't have to pitch to you anymore. Take the base.
Just go stand over there, dude. Like it's simple, in my opinion. But again, they're both playing good baseball. Recently they've both kind of fell off. The Orioles went 3-7 in their last 10. Yankees 4-6. So kind of a little slide.
Yankees
into
have
the
been
deadline.
playing pretty bad recently. If we talked about them last episode, they're not playing good.
They're the Yankees. They're going to add in some way, shape, or form.
Of course.
And again, the Orioles are going to be in the mix of whoever you name a player. Orioles are their top target, and it's their call whether or not they get them.
Yep.
So that's the AL East. So okay, let's back up. Where did we land? So I feel like I changed it, but maybe I didn't. I had Yankees, O's, Jays, Rays, Red Sox. You had O's, Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox.
Yeah, so if I switch
You were
the
closer.
Blue Jays and Red Sox, I'm on point. But
Yeah, nobody's going to have the Red Sox at 3, I don't think.
hell no. No, absolutely not.
Maybe 4, but we didn't have either.
I think the closest call-out breakouts is either Manoah not pitching well. I had him regressing.
I had him.
And you had him
break
breaking out. And
I had Taj Bradley's my only one.
Oh, that's fair. And then I had like you said, Rafaela. I don't think he's having a breakout season, but he's having a solid season. So
I'm doing one quick check-in here that I have. Okay, never mind. He hasn't been good.
Hey, look, speaking of Red Sox pitchers, there's Tanner Houck.
Tanner Houck on the bump.
God,
top of the third.
I want
here.
him in the Braves
First in-
jersey. Anyways,
facing
okay.
Jerickson Profar. So, real quick, before we get to the wild card, who you got? Yankees or O's?
I'm sticking with the O's.
I guess I have to stick with the Yankees, but I don't love it.
You don't have to, man. Make a decision, buddy.
Yankees.
Yankees, okay.
Just because.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, let's jump to wild card. All right, this one's going to be weird. Now we read off all their records, right? So I'm not going to bore you to death with that, but we'll talk games back and who's in play. I guess we'll go with the team that, because we've talked about them a little bit. We'll start at the lowest that we'll go is the Texas Rangers are 7.5 back of the Boston Red Sox. So all of these games are within the Boston Red. Timeout. A lot of numbers here. So Boston Red Sox are third in the wild card right now. So every number that I read in terms of games back is going to be to the Boston Red Sox. So they are X amount of games behind the Red Sox.
Gotcha.
The Red Sox are a half of game behind the Twins.
Wow.
And 3.5 games behind the Yankees. So any number that I read, if you want your team to be the first wild card, add 3.5 games.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Texas Rangers, 7.5 out. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 behind 5 other teams besides the Red Sox. So Red Sox, 5 other teams, Rangers.
Okay.
Detroit Tigers, 7 games out. I think they're both dead in the water.
Well, we already Tigers dead.
We declared Tigers dead.
Tigers are dead.
Somehow
Tigers
the Rangers are alive because they actually have legitimate major league talent.
We're gonna have to see what happens.
I don't have faith.
I don't have
a lot of
faith either, but I think they have more of an. They're still alive. They're not dead. They're not dead to rights yet. Tigers, yes.
The
Rangers are
Rays,
alive.
5.5.
Dead.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's my alarm, and I don't like it. The Houston Astros are 3.5 out.
Ooh.
Which
Very
in turn,
much
Shohei just went deep. Shohei Ohtani, homer, all-star game.
There we go.
Guy just shows up
just mashes
all the time.
That's all he does. Okay.
So this is my concern. In my, would call it a hot take, I guess. The AL West may not get a wild card team.
I agree.
Like they might just beat it. It might be a one-team
Agreed. Completely agree.
playoff.
Yep.
They would be 2 games behind the Boston Red Sox, or excuse me, 2.5 behind the Boston Red Sox
They're
right
manners.
now. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think the West is very close to not having.
it's
a
one
wild
and
card.
done.
Yeah. Agreed.
So with that said, I think we go backwards and say the Rangers might be dead.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed. Rangers dead in the water. Call it. Dead
Okay.
in the water.
With that logic,
Yep.
we're ruling out the Rangers.
I'm with it. Absolutely. They're dead in the water.
All right, good. I don't have to worry about them. Then.
Yep. Rangers dead in
Can't
the water.
wait till they're like 3 games
Oh
out.
my God.
But
we'll eat those words later.
So it's very again for me that's cause for concern in terms of the AL West.
Right.
Kansas City Royals are 2 games out of the Red Sox. So again, they are 7 games above 500 and still not in a wild card.
Here's the deal. Fuck the Royals. They're dead in the water.
I hear you.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
That's it. That's the AL wild card.
Yep.
I don't-
So it's Yankees, Twins.
Right now, Yankees, Twins, Red Sox.
Yep.
And then let's back up. As it sits now, if the season ended today, it'd be Guardians, Orioles with the bye,
Yep.
Seattle Mariners versus Boston Red Sox,
Yep.
and Yankees versus Twins.
Okay. And I think that's, so essentially the only teams we feel like are still alive would be the Astros and that's just getting the spot, right? Whoever wins that division's in, whoever loses is not.
So, okay.
And then you have the Twins and the Guardians, and maybe the Royals.
So according to you, this will be a 1, 2, 3. We'll call it a 4-team race for 1 playoff. 4-team race for 2 playoff spots.
I agree. Yes.
Mariners, Astros,
Yep.
Royals, Red Sox.
Completely agree.
One of Mariners, Astros wins the division.
Yep.
The other has to fight for a wild card.
Correct. Completely agree.
Do you have faith? Who do you like the most? We'll call Mariners, Astros one team, right? We're not going to hash that out.
Yeah.
Mariners, Astros, Royals, or Red Sox to be the third.
You know
wild
what's
card
really
team
funny
right
is
now.
like
or technically the Twins too. The Twins aren't free and clear.
I
either.
think the Twins are. I think the Twins are fine. I think the Twins are going to make it.
Okay.
Fine is the wrong word.
They're 4 games ahead of the Astros.
Yeah, I think the Twins are going to take that spot. However that develops, whether they drop one, they still stay in there. To me, the Red Sox Royals decision's tough because I want to say Red Sox and vote with my heart because fuck the Royals, but it's hard to feel like the Red Sox are going to continue to perform at the level they're at now. So it's probably Royals.
Over Astros, Mariners. The Royals are a game and a half ahead of the Astros and a half a game ahead of the Mariners.
They finish ahead of whoever is second there. Yes.
I'm going to disagree just for the sake that I don't think the Mariners win the division, but God damn it, I need them in that wild card.
I hear you.
And they better figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
that's
disagree.
it. That's the end of my spiel on that.
All right.
That's the AL standings.
Yeah. Okay, good. Nice recovery.
How about that one? I didn't think I had that in me.
You're a professional over here,
I
ladies
tried.
and gentlemen.
All right, what else you got?
All right, so obviously, I mean, I don't think there's a debate. We know who the half-year mark MVP is of the AL. It's not even a debate. It's Judge.
It's Judge, but it's a little closer. Than
Judge is on pace for 55 home runs, 307 average, 424 OBP, 672 slugging, and 143 RBIs. There's only 2 other people that have had that type of year, and one of them's name is Babe Ruth, right? So he's having a year that we just don't see, and I think Soto and makes a good argument for, and then Gunnar, right? Both of those guys are a part of the conversation.
They're there.
But they're a part of second place conversation. I think it's Judge head and shoulders above everybody else, and then you have those other 2 guys. Thoughts?
I agree. I do think it's a little closer than you're saying. Like, I do think Gunnar is having a very, very good season.
I agree.
And like an unprecedented season. And, say what you want in terms of WAR, but it is pretty close. B-WAR has Judge at 6.4, Henderson at 6.2.
Mm-hmm.
Not severely far-fetched. Soto, way less than both of them, but just an on-base machine.
Yeah.
And all of his runs are coming via Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
yeah.
I do think it's going to end up being between Judge and Henderson.
Yep.
And Judge just goes on these ridiculous tears that nobody else is capable of. So it just feels like he'll walk away with it.
Okay, real quick, who do you think the dark horse is?
Bobby Witt.
I was going to say Quan.
No.
Yeah.
You think somebody's going to vote for Steven Kwan?
Yeah, I think they'll vote for him because he's the little guy that could.
If he hit 400.
I said dark horse, man.
Yeah. But
all right,
like a dark horse would be like Duran or Witt or something
That's
like
fair.
that.
That's fair. I mean, yeah.
And I don't.
Witt should be.
I mean, Witt's got 5.4.
Witt needs to be considered as well.
He's got a 928 OPS.
No, the dude's playing really well. I was way off on that whole regression thing, but
same.
Okay, so Cy Young, I feel like we're gonna both say the same name here.
1, 2, 3.
Skubal. Yep. Okay. All right. Moving on. Wait.
Corbin is up.
Corbin. Yeah, Corbin's a part of the conversation. I don't disagree, but he is not Skubal. It is what it is. Like, that kid is pitching, and if you,
maybe Skubal gets traded to the NL,
right?
I might have to eat crow right now. Corbin Burns is not having the year that I thought he was.
I mean, he's solid, but he's not Skubal solid.
2.9. Where am I missing?
I mean,
he's only got 2.9 WAR.
So the other two people I would say are a part of the conversation. Crochet is one, right? And then your guy, Seth Lugo.
Yeah, that sucks. He had 2.48. Like, the guy's been nails. He's been very good. His last start wasn't very good. I know that because I traded for him in this one league that I'm in. I mean, yeah.
It's Scooble. It's not really close.
It is Scooble right now. There is a lot of season. Some guys might, that are closer to the top there might need to see Scooble go to the NL to try and get their Cy Young. But yeah, for now, as long as Scooble remains in the AL, it is his. Remains to be seen what else would go down. Where you wanted to talk Rookie of the Year really quick. Yeah. I think it's that's really a 2-horse race. I'll say the guy you aren't. And I'm going to butcher his name because I don't think it's a hard G. Luis Gil from the Yankees.
Okay, I don't disagree.
Very good season.
Well, so does Miller count for Rookie of the Year?
Yes, but that's just in.
That's
just cool. That's just
here's
a
the thing.
hip thing to do.
I think that Miller's a part of the conversation, but if the G is silent, I think it's Langford Heel, however you said it. I'm just gonna say Gil because I'm an American and that's phonetically how it looks. So I think that the AL conversations is not as exciting.
Yeah,
I think the NL conversation is way more exciting for Rookie of the Year. So, do you have a dud in the American League?
Not like just a player,
like a player that's like, man, they are just not doing anything.
You had people you want to talk about. I don't have one ready. So you go ahead and hit me. And if I have one, great. I don't like to poo-poo on people.
No, that's fair.
That's not my game.
That's fair. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. And the ones I was thinking about.
That was a joke. You were supposed to take. You're not supposed to take that literally.
I'm sorry.
Like, there's a lot of guys that I
you hate a lot of people. You do hate a lot of people.
But I don't. I mean, maybe I'm looking at them because I fucking picked them. Vaughn Grissom.
Yeah, Grissom
been hurt and then just isn't good.
Reed Detmers has been really bad.
He's in AAA. Tristan McKenzie, AAA.
Yep. I was going to say Benintendi. There were no expectations, but he's performing so
far below them.
Yeah, and then Soroka has not pitched well for the White Sox either. There's a lot of names. There's nothing that sticks out. The NL, we'll get to that. There's people that stick out over there. So that's the AL. Whew. Guys, it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long one. So all right, let's move on.
Let's go NL.
Let's go on to the NL. So NL West.
Top to bottom. Oops, shit. Top to bottom.
Yep, top to bottom.
NL
I think
West.
We were pretty similar on this one too, were we not?
I would assume so. Surprise, surprise. Los Angeles Dodgers, first place.
No
56 and 41. Arizona Diamondbacks, 1 game over 500. They kind of battled back. They are 7 games behind the Dodgers. That lead feels like 17.
It does.
I'll just say it now. I think, like, the Rockies are dead last. They're almost 30 games below 500. We're not going to even waste a millisecond talking about that.
We both got that right.
Of course. The Giants are 3 games under 500.
Okay.
They're hovering like the Giants do. They're like the Rays of the West, but they have a lot more money.
Yep.
They do it differently, but they like in terms of their outcomes.
Yep.
They're 9 games back. And the Padres are 1 game over 500 as well, also 7 games back. So they're tied with the Diamondbacks. That's, like I said, that 7 games feels insurmountable for both of those teams to the Dodgers.
1,000%.
And the crazy thing is the Dodgers are
underperforming,
maybe at like 62%.
Yeah, completely agree.
Right?
Completely agree.
No Mookie. Bobby Miller just went to AAA, and he's supposed to be like one of their guys. Like Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone is their number 1 today.
Called that right for you.
Sure, but Glasnow's hurt. That really doesn't surprise anyone. I don't know how long he's out. I don't know if it's
I don't think. Yeah.
I don't know if it was the All-Star game thing, like give him extra days and all that type of shit. Yamamoto's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
James Paxton's still hurling every couple days. Kershaw is up and down in like. He's pitching and he's not, so I don't know when he's going to be ready. They just have a slew of guys who just aren't ready.
After you say all that, there's no way they don't go for Scooble hardcore. Damn.
And they do have a lot of prospects still, too,
and lots of money. Damn. All right, anyway, sorry, keep going. I got it.
Again, this is just like we said it from day one. This isn't going to be particularly close. The Dodgers are going to turn it on completely at some point and then that's really it, right? Thanks for coming.
Yep.
They'll go up 12 games by the end of by like mid-August, and they'll just coast. They'll get everybody back gradually, and they'll be fine. I'm excited to talk wild card because all three, the Giants, Padres, Diamondbacks, are involved.
Absolutely part of the conversation.
So the short synopsis here is NL West is a foregone conclusion. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for it to get close. It's a foregone conclusion. Those teams are in contention for the wild card. Do not expect them to compete divisionally. Cup, I had that exact order.
Yep, you have that exact order. D-backs and Padres are technically tied.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean,
fair.
but you're definitely on top of that. I had the D-backs. I had the Giants higher, so that I got that part wrong. But when it comes to calling,
You got nothing. Ezekiel Tovar, who's
Tovar's the closest
he's
thing.
equivalent to Zach Neto.
Yeah, but you got Jackson Merrill, who absolutely is a part of the Rookie of the Year conversation, and Gavin Stone, who is somehow
He turns into the like right
Dodgers
today.
ace.
He's their number one, and he's been okay, like nothing crazy. He's been very good. So that's the West. I don't think much needs to be said because I think we need to hash more out on the wild card.
Agreed.
Another just anomaly making no sense is the NL Central. The Centrals are the surprise divisions that we thought were like, hey, this is a one team, one horse race.
Yeah.
Maybe another team wins it. Like we could be wrong, but we're talking potential multiple playoff teams here. Milwaukee Brewers, 13 games over 500.
By the way, we were both way wrong on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
55-42. What do we have the Brewers at? Oh,
We
Jesus.
both had
we
the
had them
Brewers
fourth.
Yeah.
We
were
were off on this whole division's out of whack.
It's whack. But we both had them over 77, so we were right about that at
We're
least.
getting there.
But we
We
definitely
probably
had
said
them.
like 80. We're probably quoted being like, that would be 500.
They got nothing.
Anyway, they're playing well. They're about to get Devin Williams back in the back of the bullpen.
Yep.
Like another team that like lineup doesn't scare you very much, but they have just role players that are doing well, right? Hoskins has experience in terms of playing big games, right? World Series, all that type of stuff. Jackson Trio, they stuck with him. He is getting better.
Yep.
Is he a superstar? I don't think
Not
he's
yet.
quite Wyatt. Like Wyatt Langford's actually better than Trio
Agreed.
right now. However, Trio's getting that legitimate experience. He's turning into a solid everyday player for them. They're good. Freddie Peralta's solid.
Peralta's
They
pitching
can
very well.
add, but again, just like the AL Central, a team that you're just like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy they got for Burns, Joey Ortiz, is having a solid year.
No, I didn't-
He's not Corbin Burns. He's
Right.
not, he's not
But he's-
giving you that
he's not
production. but
trash,
with the
essentially,
with the bat, he's an everyday player for them.
Take
doing
that.
well. But anyway, a team that can afford to add.
Yep.
How they do it, I have no idea. Right? Like what they do, who they go after, I'm not sure. Another ridiculously crazy surprise is the St. Louis Cardinals at 50-46. They're
We
4
also
games
had
over.
them third.
They're in a wild card spot now. They're 4.5 back of the Brewers.
Yep.
I feel like they're gonna fall off a cliff. I don't trust them at all unless it like The thing is, Goldschmidt and Arenado aren't even doing they're just there, right?
Yep.
They just exist.
I mean,
they
they're
play
not,
every day.
They're not playing bad, but they're not world beaters.
They're
either.
playing like a run-of-the-mill
Yeah.
baseball player, not Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado.
Right.
Right. They're not playing to the
1000%.
name. They're
Yep.
playing. They're fine.
Yep. They're
But-
professional baseball players.
Yeah. And then, you told me Jordan Walker wouldn't pan out to this point, they're just inserting guys and it's working, right? Nolan Gorman, Dylan Carlson, who the hell's the other guy? Alec Burleson.
Yep.
Like, just name. You're just throwing names out there. They're fine. Mason Wynn's playing
Wynn.
well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
or
Wynn.
at least defensively, I know that. I don't know. I think they fall off a cliff. I like Sonny Gray, but I have zero faith in Kyle Gibson. I have zero faith in.
No, you hate Kyle Gibson.
I can't stand him. I have zero faith in Lance Lynn. I actually have less faith in Lance Lynn than I do Kyle Gibson. Miles Mikolas, sure. I don't know. If he's your number 2, you're not going far.
Nope.
And so, and Helsley, a guy that was supposed to be a part of the trade deadline, probably won't unless they command a high price.
They really need him to stay competitive.
But they could, if they get good pieces. You can't fault them for getting it.
Oh,
for
absolutely
moving.
not. I
So-
think they should get rid of him, but I mean, because I'm with you. I don't think they have a shot here. So
Again, it don't be surprised by anything that happens in the
1000%.
Central Division.
Yeah, Centrals are
the
wild
Pittsburgh
cards.
Pirates are a 500 baseball team.
What the hell?
At the All-Star break, they're 48 and 48.
We were off.
6.5 back of the Brewers for first place. They are 1.5 back of a wild card. I know I'm jumping the gun in terms of wild card standing stuff, but we'll hash that out in a minute.
Man, we got this division so bad.
We had them under 74.5
Yep.
wins. I guess it's
Both
still
last.
possible that they go under.
It is. I mean, but they have to fall off a cliff.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they do that. Their pace has to
It's
really
possible,
slow down.
though.
It is possible.
Because remember what I said last year in April, they were like they won like 20
but that was
some games.
1 month. This is a bigger
73. Listen, I mean they didn't have Paul Skeens.
Yep,
They didn't have Jared Jones.
pitching his ass off too.
Those guys are playing very good.
Yep.
Their lineup is doing enough.
Enough. Yep.
I mean they have more. It's 4, but they have more runs than the Cardinals do.
Hey, that's important. When I went to go watch the Braves, it was against the Pirates, and we beat the doors off of those guys. So I'm not
They're
threatened by
missing.
them.
They have a -9 run differential.
Yeah,
they're not all together. They're not ready. So that's my thing. They're not ready.
Not ready at all.
So they can't. They should be in no man's land. They
Yeah.
should just roll.
They're just
and
I think they're going to be middling for the rest.
then
of
the
the year.
bigger question is, what do they do at Skeens come mid-August?
Did they shut them down like Strasburg?
So here is my thing about Strasburg, and I hold it true for Skeens, and I will be just as equally mad. Strasburg sat in the middle of a playoff race.
Yeah,
like
right.
Like
Yeah.
they were winning. They may have won the. I don't remember that part, but they were in the heart of it. They went to the playoff. Like he didn't pitch. They just
No, they shut them down.
that was it.
Yep.
100, whatever the hell it was, 150, 160 innings. You're done, bud. See ya. Pull you right in the middle of the game. Go wherever the hell you go. I don't know where they're. Go hang out in Florida or wherever my training facility is.
Right.
I hated that. I despised it. That was like 10 years ago, probably more.
That's probably more. Yeah.
It's still a ridiculous
Part-time
thing.
producer
that happened.
Doug Irwin would be
So
able to tell
I
us.
don't. I wouldn't hate it if they were not in contention and they did it. I wouldn't love it, but you're like, you know what? I get it. We're not ready. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Because they're going to run into the same thing with Jared Jones. They might shut both of those guys down.
Or they just let them pitch.
I'm interested to see. We'll see
I
what
hope they do. I mean, I think it's better for the game.
Yeah,
if they both
clearly
pitch.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, at what point do you make that call?
Yeah, but I mean, I've already said I think Skeens is going to throw his arm out. So I'm definitely scared if he continues to pitch.
No matter, and
meaningless
Strasburg
games.
ended up like Strasburg,
Yeah.
even with the.
That's scary.
You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer there.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. If they're in it and they pull them, I'll be furious.
Yeah, that's
if they
dumb.
happen to fall a little bit out, you're like, I get it. Cincinnati Reds, our boy Dan has to be not thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not thrilled. 47 and 50. They're 3 games under. Not complete. They're 8 games out of the Brewers. Their team doesn't impress me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be impressed. Dan kind of convinced me. And
You drank the Kool-Aid. It's
I
fine.
did, and they're just not.
Well, I mean,
and I know they're banged up.
Here's the deal. Ellie, a lot of fun to watch. Like I think he's probably one of the more electric, got to tune in guys in the ML
Yep.
in the NL right now. So they have that going for them, but that's really it.
But
everything else is just not really falling into place.
He has 46 stolen bases. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And honestly, he has an 830 OPS. I thought it was lower than that.
Yeah.
So he's playing well.
He's playing very
and
well.
he's their superstar. I get it. But like, and Spencer Steer, I'm sure is playing well. But then Jameer Candelario, he's their 3-hitter. I think we both had Encarnacion Strand as our breakout. He
did.
hasn't played in a long
Hasn't
time.
done
He broke a
anything.
wrist, just had
Yep.
surgery. Wasn't good before then either.
Yeah, but I don't think he was not impressing people prior.
And I was just texted by him. Now I got to go find it. It was who the hell was this guy's name? They found another guy. They find him all over the goddamn place. Why am I missing? Oh, Reese Hines. Guy's just hitting home runs out the ass. Found him out of nowhere. And then we compared him to Aristides Aquino, if you remember him.
Yep.
He came up, hit a shit ton of home runs, and then was never to be heard of again.
Right.
the Reds do that with some guys. I don't know what moves, if any, that they make, what position they're in to make moves. I don't like them. I don't think that they're gonna make. They're 3 games off a wild card. I don't trust them. That's all I've got. What do you got? Anything on the Reds?
No, I mean, like I said, Ellie's a lot of fun to watch, and that's really it. Like, and we were talking about how
Ellie.
they're just a bunch of guys, and that's proving to be more and more.
They might be like, and Hunter Green's been fine. Lodolo's been hurt a little bit. Frankie Montas is there.
Yeah, again,
he exists.
They're guys.
Sure,
it's just not something that gives you faith that they can do something different. For the rest of the season. And then, holy shit, the Cubs.
Yeah, 4 games under 500. 8.5 of the behind the Brewers, 3.5 the wild card. They're gonna. Well, I don't know how hurt he is. If Bellinger is healthy enough to be moved, they're gonna sell.
I agree, and I do believe there are rumblings about Bellinger being moved.
But he hurt his finger, broke his foot, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
If the price goes down,
it does.
But like, I don't know if you could trade. Like, again, I don't know how that all works.
It sucks. I mean, you look at I look at the Cubs roster and some of their higher performers, and you're like, what is happening? Like, Imanaga's having a phenomenal season. They've got
Tyon's pitching well. They're pitching okay.
Steele's pitching well too. Now that he's back.
Yes, the staff is well. I think their bullpen's atrocious.
I think their bullpen sucks.
Their bullpen is very, very bad. So they're.
I mean, that sucks, but I mean, it's just they have. I don't understand. The Cubs confuse me why they're so bad. But it doesn't feel like they are turning a corner at all. And if they become sellers, I would not be surprised. And they probably.
I guess I just don't know who else they sell besides Bellinger. You can't get rid of Dansby.
No,
right?
Yeah.
We said last time Nico Horner was a name.
Yep.
We'll see what happens with that.
If they become sellers, Miko's gone, Bellinger's gone, and maybe Steele, because they could probably get a package
He's still
for that
relatively
kid.
young. We'd have to do a deeper dive than just throw his name out there, because but yeah, you're right. I guess a haul. Right, he's 29. He's older than I thought.
Yeah, they could get a haul for him, because like there's teams like the Yankees that need pitching, or the Dodgers desperately need pitching, so they could probably get a ransom for someone like that.
I think they'll lose people if they get rid of the Cubs are weird because those fans are very passionate. They're always around.
They're very passionate, but they trust the system, right? So they'll be fans whether the Cubs get it right or not.
I think they sell. I don't think any of that pitching moves.
That's
we'll
the
see.
biggest thing they could do. Like if they
that's firing it up.
Yeah, they're blowing it the fuck up. But I think Bellinger's probably Horner. I think
Horner could
is
right now. He's healthy
because he's like one of the better second basemen in the league right now. So
he's a contact guy.
He's a good piece for a lot of teams.
That's the Central. As ridiculous
as that was. Did we get any of the breakouts right? You got Jared Jones.
Yeah, I have Jared Jones, and we picked Jackson Trio. He's fine.
Trio.
I'm going to call him Trio.
Jared Jones is by far the right call.
Jordan Walker, PCA, who
I had O'Neal Cruz. Damn.
P. Crow Armstrong is a good baseball player.
I think he's going to be good. I don't think this is the year.
Yeah, he's defensively. He's very, very good.
No, he's very good.
Very good defensively. His bat isn't all the way there yet. So again, a guy that they'll be able to build around going forward in the future. But man, the Central, we got that division the worst out of all.
It's
of
so
them.
bad. We were nowhere close.
Do the Brewers just keep it? I mean, I think so. Like, I'm not even gonna let you talk unless you decide to at the end. The Brewers don't lose the division. The Cardinals are a pumpkin. The Cardinals equal the Red Sox, and the Cardinals are worse than the Red Sox.
Agreed.
In my eyes, that's how I see the
because
Cardinals
the Red Sox has outperformed. The Cardinals have.
I don't know what they've done.
I mean, I guess outperforms the word, but I don't feel like they've done anything significantly well. Whereas the Red Sox have.
Yeah, correct. The Red Sox are way better. If given the two options to turn into a pumpkin, it's the Cardinals.
1,000%.
So, and then under that, you have the there's a chance. I'm not saying that they end up competing. That the Reds just end up second in the division, but still out of contention.
I think the Central in the NL is what the West is in the AL. Like they get one.
It seems that. Well, okay.
One.
All right.
Yeah,
I could get on board.
What's up?
That's Central. I can't believe we spent so much time on the Central,
but
it's interesting. It's the most interesting.
Yeah.
NL East. Let's just go bottom to top. Marlins stink. Fire sale incoming. They're playing Jazz Chisholm at second base, probably to get some teams some look for his second base.
That's exactly what I'm trying to
They have Tanner Scott. Everybody's going to become calling for him.
Yep.
Maybe Brian De La Cruz, maybe Jesus Sanchez. They've got guys for however bad they are. They can piece some of those guys out and get some stuff. Whatever. Doug's Washington Nationals. As expected, 18.5 out, 6 of a wild card. They're not really expected to compete. They already traded Hunter Harvey away. Finnegan's probably next at some point.
Has to be.
He's got a shit ton of saves, by the way. He's got like 2 plus. I was very surprised by how many he has.
They should be able to get a ransom for him.
They're
too.
44 and 53.
Which, by the way, I think is overperforming.
They slid a lot. They were well overperformed. They may have been a little over 500.
They were at some point, I think.
But anyway,
close to it.
They're just not. They're not there, and I don't know what they have to like. James Woods up, love that. I'd love to see Cruz get called up, maybe in September.
Yeah, because he's AAA now, I believe.
Yeah, he moved
up with Woods.
So I'd be interested to see him come up in September. Get some run for the last month of the season.
Yep.
Doug texted me about it. They did call up Jackson Rutledge, more of a put up or shut up. Like, hey, can you
figure it out, kid?
Yep. I have no idea how he actually did. I can check while I'm blabbering on here. But in terms of like them selling, like yes, they sold. He didn't do too bad. He's got 5 1/3 innings, a 4.76 ERA, a couple runs. But anyway. Finnegan's a piece that they can move, but then it's like I always go back to should they trade Lane Thomas? Is Lane Thomas because he's like 29, 30 years old?
Yeah, so
he's really not.
Lane Thomas is. I've already talked about this. It's one of the targets I'd hope the Braves would have.
Yeah, he's just not.
He doesn't. He's not their future.
Correct, because he's not young enough.
He's not young enough to be their future. So you might as well.
And he's not super old.
He's not super old. So this is really the best time for them to get. It's probably the best price they would get for him. So I think they have to move him.
I've been wanting him to get moved for a couple years.
Agreed.
It won't come from the Pirates, but him and Brian Reynolds, I wanted to move. Like I think that. Reynolds is better.
I'd agree.
But I put them in the same box of like I want that guy.
Yeah.
And then they both signed extensions. It's been a catastrophe.
How'd you think if Thomas went to the Mariners?
I'd like it.
Yeah.
It'd be a net positive. They need an outfielder.
I think if you ask anybody if they would want Lane Thomas on their team, everyone
he's
would
a good
say
baseball
yes.
player. Yeah,
everyone
he's
would
a baseball
say
player.
Yeah. So
he has
get rid of
decent
him.
numbers. He's fine. But yeah, they're out of in terms of contention. They're out of it.
Yeah.
They're a fun team to look out for because they have some young talent.
Yep. I think we're going to be talking about the Nationals a lot more over the next couple of years.
The trade for Soto looks pretty good for them at this particular point.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Considering they weren't going to re-sign him.
Yeah, they weren't
yes,
gonna
you
re-sign
want
him.
Juan Soto,
Yep.
but they weren't going to pay him.
Yep.
So get that out of your head.
Yep.
Mackenzie Gore's pitching well, playing well, I suppose. You got James Wood. Hassel's about to come through. Enough Nationals talk. Sorry, Doug.
Yep.
The Mets, the Grimmets. Anyway, 3 games over 500, 49-46. 12.5 back of first place, which isn't really fair to say at this point. They're in a wild card spot, I believe. We'll double check that here in a moment. I don't know.
No, they're pumpkins. To me, they're the same as the Cardinals. To be quite honest with you,
They're better than the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think you're right, especially with Grimace, the Lord Grimace on their side for sure. They've been playing really well, but I don't know. I have zero faith in the Mets just because of, their history. So I think that they continue to kind of middle as well.
That rotation's hanging on by a fucking thread.
Exactly.
Man. It's just okay. I retract.
Okay, thank you.
Pumpkin
for sure, 100%.
In 2 weeks though, so that Pete Alonso's a Mariner.
Yeah, and if they fire sell, or not even fire sell,
but I'm saying they'd have to fall off in 2 weeks. No team that is in a playoff spot is selling their best player.
I
arguably.
completely disagree. The Mets would.
Not Stevie Cohen, not Uncle Stevie.
We talked about this though. That's not their best player. Lindor.
Well, yeah, correct.
So if they can get more players back, that's actually a smart move for the Mets.
I don't disagree. I'm saying just from a fan perspective.
Yes, look, end all be all. Pete Alonso hits the ball far, but I mean, if they can get 2 players back that are pieces they desperately need, like a pitcher, I mean, why the fuck would they not do it? So, but again, I don't think that makes them that like good enough to compete. And keeping Pete doesn't make them good enough to compete. So
we're out on the Mets.
Out on the Mets.
We don't trust them.
Yep.
Where am I? Okay. In second place are your Atlanta Braves.
Oof.
They're not bad. They're
Nope.
11 games over 500.
Yep.
53-42. 8.5 back of the very much overperforming Philadelphia Phillies. They
We
are
have not
4
closed that
games
gap.
up on a wild card.
Yep.
I think we probably said this before, but like it feels like they're safely in a playoff spot.
Yep.
The division is slipping away.
Yes.
It's kind of already gone.
I think it's
and
gone,
like if you inch closer, you'd be like, oh shit, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think you're better served just staying in your lane and
1,000%.
And
Yeah.
just
Like
doing your
making
thing.
up 8.5 is tough.
it's a lot. Well,
I mean, not if you're
I
the
hear
Astros
you.
and Mariners.
I hear
but
You'd
it
be
is
surprised.
like but the thing is, the Phillies are performing so well where the Mariners have kind of not, and you don't catch a team that's hot.
Yeah.
You just don't. And so I'm with you. I think that we just have to stay focused on winning baseball games because we're still a good baseball team. Let's like the Phillies are playing the best baseball right now, right? And so they're going to do that until the playoffs happen. We are just going to focus on continuing to be a solid baseball team, trying to add some pieces, trying to get healthy. I mean, look, we've got 2 stud pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a good bullpen.
not the
Hopefully-
2 stub pitchers. Not one of the
well,
stub
one
pitchers
of them
you
I did
think.
not expect, and we'll get to
Fair.
that. We add a bullpen piece and maybe another rotation, and hopefully, like we got it. We got to get another outfielder, and then maybe things change, right? But that's a big wish list to be super competitive, you know. So yeah, we'll see. But I think they're comfortably a playoff team, just because of where we're sitting and the conversation we had at all these other teams. They do not scare me to overtake us. If I'm being completely honest.
They're on pace to win 90 games.
Yeah,
and again,
fine.
that's not a bad compared
That's
to
a
your
good-
standard.
that's a good
to the
baseball
Braves
season.
standard. You know, that's whatever you want to call it. Like that's good. I don't know what you know.
Yeah.
that's fine.
You should always be happy with 90 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Phillies are, however,
Lord.
are on a
Fuck the Phillies, but holy crap, you guys are playing so good.
105 win pace.
So good.
They're playing very good baseball.
We've got
man.
3
They're-
All-Stars
like-
in the infield.
Like you
holy
said,
crap.
they're firing on all cylinders. Everything's hitting.
So good.
You know, I was talking to my dad. My dad will watch the Phillies, root for them.
Yep.
Wants us to talk about them more. Always yells about that when I talk to him. But anyway.
Sorry, Papa Crotch.
But, you know, he's like, well, what do we do? Are we going to add? I was like, you have to. I was like, even if you think your team's perfectly fine, like you could get better somewhere, right? Like whatever that is. So
it's that step on their throat mentality that you have.
Yep. You gotta go do it.
So if the Phillies don't bury us, they're going to have to worry about us the whole time.
Correct.
So yeah, the Phillies need to do something. Now, what do they do?
I don't know. I don't think they make any blockbuster moves.
No, I don't think it's blockbuster, but they got to shore that bullpen up, right? They've got to make sure that bullpen is solid. Not that it's not solid. I'm not
Correct.
saying that.
No.
But
I
just
know.
make it elite, right? Like that's what you do. Like when
That
the
offense,
Braves won the
they're
World
clicking,
Series,
man.
we had the 7th, 8th, 9th elite.
Oh yeah,
pitching.
yeah.
You know what I
did.
mean? Like
and they came in and did their. That's what won you the World Series.
1,000%. So if the Phillies can lock something like that up, I mean, you can't beat that. You just can't. So that's the move the Phillies need to make for sure.
Yeah, they should be of that mindset we talked about earlier. I forget who even said it about. It's like, what do I need to do? Like, how do I beat X, Y, Z
We're talking
team?
about that was
what
the
do I do to beat the
Guardians.
Dodgers?
Yeah.
What do I do to beat the Braves? Like, they know what they need to do to beat the Braves. That's given.
Oh, they've
But-
got that figured out.
exactly. Right. Well, what do I need to do to beat the Brewers? Probably nothing.
Nothing,
So like, it's
yeah.
really
Dodgers.
How do I beat the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Like, sure, you're
or whatever.
Some people could say, "Oh, the Diamondbacks."
Yeah,
But
what I was going to say, whatever West team gets hot to make the playoffs.
I suppose.
Giants,
the Padres
Padres,
could be a
or
problem.
D-backs, yeah.
So
all those teams could be a problem. In a short series, all those teams can be a problem. That's especially in the format of playoffs we have now.
yeah,
So
You're right.
Yeah.
The playoffs is all about who you get. You tell with the Dodgers, right? And you guys, you're a prime example. You don't even get excited. You're like, God, this sucks.
Yeah.
I really did. I had nobody right in breakout regression. I had James Wood, but if you want to call breakout that he actually got called up, that's a win.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I don't know if
I'm
he's
going to take
breakout
it.
yet. I mean, take that win for sure. I had Jared Kelenic, and so which, by the way, the first few months probably not accurate, but he, since Acuna went down, he's taken the leadoff role. He's playing center. I mean, he's been great. Like defensively, he's been super solid. Now he's turning on offensively. So I think I'll take that victory lap because I do
have to call out your regression. You got to stop picking regression.
I know. My regression was spite regressions.
Or people who are listening for regressions need to just bet the complete opposite and take that money to the bank.
I don't think any of us got regressions right. Manoah was close, but yeah, I had Bryce Harper.
I
had Bryce Harper as a regression.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's not happening.
He's MVP caliber, not necessarily MVP.
Yeah, I just want him to be bad.
All right.
I mean, that's what.
Let's jump to wild card, and I know I kind of did. For the sake of timing, I did a little preview, if you will, of how many games back. But let's paint the picture again. Braves are the first wild card right now, up 4.5 on the Mets. I think that's how it works.
Yep.
The Cardinals are in second place. They are a 1.5 up on the Mets. They are 3.5 behind the Braves, and the Mets are third. Behind them, if you want to be super technical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth team behind the Mets are the Chicago Cubs, 3.5 games back.
Wow, that's tight.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
holy cow!
This is what I was talking about before.
Only the Marlins and Rockies are basically out
Nationals,
of the picture.
but yeah.
Oh,
Nationals are 6.
no, Marlins and Rockies are the only two teams that are out of the picture completely.
Oh yeah, the Nationals are in it, but I didn't count them.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so
There's 6
Nationals,
games out.
Nationals, Rockies, Marlins are all definitely out. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody else is within 5.5.
Okay, hang on.
Sorry,
That's my fault.
So sorry.
No, I did bad at that. If you want to go to 7 teams, the Nationals are 6 games out of a wild card.
Damn.
And then the Cubs are 3.5.
Let's do this. Let's start from the bottom. Dead to water. Dead in the water. Nationals are dead. Go up.
Cubs 3.5.
Dead in the water. Ooh, 3.5.
Yeah. They are the 6th team. There are 1, 2, 3.
3.5
There are
out?
5 other teams ahead of them.
Wow. Okay. Dead in the water. Dead in the water. Next.
Somebody's got to be.
Yeah.
Giants 3.
No, they're in. They're not. They've got
In
life
contention.
Still. Yeah. In contention.
Reds 3.
Dead in the water. God.
Pirates 1.5.
No way.
Padres 1. Diamondbacks 1.
Holy crap.
Add a half game to those numbers and you're in the second wild card.
I mean.
So here, the Cubs are within 4 games of the second wild card.
Yeah, I got you.
That's
awesome.
So
that's awesome.
It's going to be crazy.
That's awesome.
And again, that's what I was stressing. And I know it was early when we did that trade deadline one, but that's what I was stressing. When it's like, who sells? Who bites first? And again, yes, we still have 2 weeks.
Is he going to play a game of chicken, you think, at this point?
If the Cubs gain another game or 2 and they're a 1.5 out of the wild card, how do you sell to your fans that we're trading Cody Bellinger? You're punting on this year. And I know baseball does that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
there's
the
always a
future, and I got
team,
these 15 prospects, and that doesn't
That's
play.
fun. That makes me excited, Chris. I
That's
don't know
a
about
lot,
you.
dude.
That's fun, dude.
See what I mean? Like Diamondbacks, Padres. The
love
Pirates
that.
are still in it. I know we called them out of that, but they're hovering.
Yeah.
So again, it gets to a month from now. It is April 15th. Skeens is at, I don't know what he's at right now.
And April 15th of the month.
August. Jesus Christ. It starts with an A. I was close.
Sure.
Skeens has 66 innings thrown in 11 starts. So let's say, I don't know how many starts you get in a month. 5? I don't know. Let's say August 30th. Skeens has like 135 innings.
Yeah.
You're 2 games out.
Oof.
You're in the same spot you're in. You're still a game and a half out of the wild card.
Yep.
You sit him?
No.
Like you in
No.
your head before the season, your office, your meeting said Paul Skeens cannot go over, but make it up 130 innings.
Right.
And he's at, I know I'm saying different numbers I
Yeah.
just did. He's at 125 on, again, August 30th. You have a month of the season. You have September, fall baseball coming up. You're a game and a half out on that date. What are you doing?
I mean, the fan says you pitch him, but like, also if I am investing millions of dollars in this kid's arm, I'm sitting his ass. That's tough. That's so tough. That's tough, man. I don't know, but
Because you could lose every bit of goodwill, right? Because now you're back in the playoffs, right? People are rejuvenated. Pittsburgh's they support their teams when they're positive, right? Like the owner's a piece of shit, but if Skeens is throwing every fifth day and he's shoving it, and the Pirates are in the like, you got fans coming out, everybody's back and excited, reinvigorated, and you're just like, you know what? Nah,
dog.
We're gonna worry about next year.
Yeah, that's a tough sell. That's a tough sell. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be
so
interesting.
again, it goes back to the Reds. We declared them dead. They're 3 games out. You think they can make up 3.5 games on the Cardinals in 2 months? The answer is yes.
The Cardinals, yes, but not the Diamondbacks, not the Padres, not the Giants. I think all 3 of those teams are better than the Reds.
I don't disagree, but again, where do you draw that
that's
line?
kind of be.
That's a weird spot to be.
It's a weird spot to be, but they have to look at it. I think everyone in the Central has to go, we have to win the Central. Whereas the other 2 divisions can say, we can't win, we have to get the wild card. And so I don't think the Central's in that boat at all. I don't think anyone's like, oh, we're playing to sneak in a wild card, because they're not catching those 3 teams. All 3 of those teams are better.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would say there are 4 teams in the West that are better than all of the Central. I mean, the Brewers are playing well, but we both know the Brewers
Diamondbacks or Brewers?
Diamondbacks.
Giants, Brewers.
Okay, that one's closer. I still would go Giants, though. Especially, I mean, if they can get that pitching thing figured out,
If Blake Snell.
If Blake Snell decides to actually be Blake Snell again, then that's going to be a huge boost to them. So the Giants are more potent. They're more dangerous.
It's close.
It's close.
That's a toss-up.
Yeah.
All right, I agree.
So I think
The Padres, they're gonna make another move
they have to.
because they don't give a shit. I love. They don't give a shit. They do not care, dude. You again? What did we just say? Like, oh, the prospect, this, the prospect. They do not.
I don't care.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Now there is a middle ground, right? They go scorch earth. They want a guy. They'll just do it. They don't give a shit.
I agree.
So again, I keep saying that, but that's how I feel about them. I'm excited to kind of see what they do.
Yeah,
They aren't going to sit with their hands tied.
No,
if they're this
they're
close.
definitely not a dead in the water team at all. So I think that'll be fun to kind of see. All right, so halfway mark. I mean, I think the MVP is also pretty set. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Shohei.
Ohtani. Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
I mean, I think
if you said Mookie
Mookie was making a case for it. But
I'm
he got
glad
injured.
you didn't
Yeah.
say Ozuna.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, look,
He's having a great year.
great year.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not
as a
gonna,
person.
Yeah, I'm not going to say him.
Okay.
It's
Ohtani.
I think Ellie's the dark horse.
No.
I'm just saying MVP, most valuable player. I think he's a dark horse, but I think it's not even close. I think it's Ohtani. Okay, this is the more fun one. Cy Young.
Oh. Ugh.
Because I know who I think it is.
NL.
NL Cy Young.
I'm just going to rattle off names. Glasnow, Wheeler.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Peralta's up there.
Nope. I think Suarez is a part of the conversation.
Who?
Ranger.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Dude.
You're going to get in so much trouble. You keep forgetting Ranger, man.
He might win a Gold Glove too.
He might.
But anyway, that was really bad. You said Suarez, and for whatever reason, I was just so dead set on Wheeler. And I was like, are you talking about the closer from the goddamn Padres? That's why I was like, that's why I was so sorry for that lack of.
You didn't say the name that I think is the Cy Young frontrunner right now.
Go ahead.
Chris Sale.
No.
Yes.
He is not.
Yes,
a Cy Young
he is.
frontrunner.
He is right
He's
now.
in the conversation.
He has better whip than Wheeler. Okay.
I was probably wrong on Wheeler.
He has better K per 9 than Wheeler. He is right now the front runner for the Cy Young. I think Wheeler is number 2 for sure, but you cannot count Sale out. Sale is so far the best. I mean, against good teams, 500 or better, he's 5-0 with a 1.27 ERA. The guy is shoving it right now.
No. Okay. You're taking my take to a new level of I didn't say he's not pitching well. He's pitching great. He's having a phenomenal bounce back season.
Yep.
And worthy of every accolade that he may get. I think Cy Young is a stretch. However, if he keeps it up, he'll be fine. He'll be right in that conversation.
I mean, I think it's tight. Don't get me wrong.
Let. Again, you can't keep having conversations about pitching, and this is the biggest what if is Paul Skeens. Like, can he just...
No. If Skeens gets fucking the Cy Young Award, I will riot. That kid does not deserve the Cy Young Award.
If he has 11 starts. He got to like 25 starts and had a 2 ERA.
If he had a sub 2 ERA.
He's got a 1.9 ERA right now.
Okay. That's fine.
His K per 9 is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, his K per 9 is awesome, but
he's got 12.1 K per 9.
No way his ERA stays that low.
I don't think it does. I'm just saying.
Okay. Look, Chris.
What number of starts?
I will
Go ahead.
Talk to you
right.
in a few weeks when he's actually pitching that many more games and his ERA stays under 2. If his ERA stays sub 2, yeah.
It's not going to say sub 2.
No, of course not. But I'm just telling you what he needs to do as a rookie to be a part of that conversation.
How many, with decent enough stats, how many starts do you need to see?
How many does he have now?
He's 11.
I mean, shit, I would want him to get over 25.
I don't think I think he'll be right around there.
I
could see
agree,
like 20. I'd see 22 to 26 if assuming he threw through the end of the season.
Again, I'd hate anyone to get consideration if they have under 30. But
you know how hard it is? Like nobody it's very hard to get 30 starts.
30 starts? No.
Yeah.
You think so?
To start 30 games in a season?
Huh.
Every 5 days times 30. That's you don't
do
miss
the math.
A start.
Chris, go for it.
It's 150 games.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, there are guys that get 30 to 33. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, don't get that twisted. However, that's a lot. Like 30 isn't like you need to start 30.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't think he gets to 20.
I think longevity and
I don't think he
durability
gets to
matters
20.
too.
Yeah, but I'm okay. That's fair. That's sure.
So, anyways, I think that race is super tight. Like I don't think there's a clear cut winner like there is on the AL. Okay, Rookie of the Year. This is a lot more interesting because I think they're Skeens obviously front runner right now, but I think Jackson Merrill has played really fucking well, and then also Imanaga technically should be a part of the conversation too.
But he's done now.
I don't think he's done. Like right now, I think he's a better. Maybe not. I was about to say he's better than Skeens. Because he has more
what?
Games?
6.
Yeah, he has more games.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I'm just saying he can't be discounted completely.
I don't. The odds are. Though.
Yeah. But anyways.
The odds also assume Skeens just is not status quo, but is just fine.
Yeah.
If Skeens finishes with like a 3.2 ERA, he'll win it. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me. This is Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Not Cy Young.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Rookie of the Year. Like,
I do not disagree.
A 3.2 to 3.5 ERA,
right.
He'll win it.
Yep. No, I don't disagree.
And again, to your point, Jackson Merrill is, in most other seasons, very well deserving.
Yep.
And I believe my boy Gavin Stone is considered a rookie, but again...
Oh, is he?
But he's not going to... win
I
anything.
didn't realize that. Okay. I mean, if he is, he's a part of the conversation.
I'm on some, I don't know when this was, some Fox article from today, actually. It was updated a while ago. The odds from Fox have him at plus 4,400, but he's fourth. Skeens is minus 1,100. Merrill is plus 550. Imanaga plus 2,600. So, again, it's Skeens until it's not. And this sounds like a garbage thing to say, but if you care to be in the market of NL Rookie of the Year odds, you take one of those three guys and you almost are hoping for Paul Skeens to get shut down.
Yep.
I almost said injury, and then I trained. You see how I did that? I've been doing good today.
No injuries.
I know. I almost said that, but then I was like, you just shut him down.
Shut him down. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. One of the things I wanted to kind of reminisce on is the NL seems to have some players. So we agree with Skeens. Moving on, and before we wrap up, we've got some players who really fell off the face of the planet. I think Snell, who we already mentioned, is one of those guys who just is not performing well. I think you mentioned Corbin Carroll.
You almost, yeah.
I almost said Burns. Yeah, Corbin Carroll's not playing well.
Yeah.
And then freaking Tim Anderson.
Oh, my God.
Is
not
playing for a team anymore.
That poor guy. Like, I don't know how you fall that. Like, the guy was an all-star. Like, he was arguably... He won a batting title.
He did.
Like, he isn't a bum. He played like one.
He was an all-star 2021 and 2022.
When did he win?
Batting champ was 2019.
Yes. He beat me to that. He hit 335. 322 was COVID. 309, 301. He was 29 years old. And then I think Jose Ramirez kicked his ass. And then he hit 245 last year and hit 214 this year.
Oof.
He had even with an OPS last year of 582 and an OPS this year of 463, his career is 718. Wow. Not saying that's incredible. I'm just saying, like, he was pretty,
come on, man.
865, 886, 806. Like, he had a decent prime. He was a good player.
Yep.
And he's only, I'm looking at it, he's 31 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what, and again, that sucks. Like, I don't know what else to say to that.
Yeah, we're not ill-wishing on anybody.
Can't, like, hang on the Marlins. Like, where else? The only other team is the A's.
Rockies, maybe?
No, they have I don't know,
White Sox.
They have Tovar and Brent. They have the Rockies are fucking stupid. They have guys. Speaking of the Rockies, though.
Oh, yeah.
We will be. It'll be my first time. Is it your first time?
My first time.
First time at Coors Field.
Let's go.
On what's today? Saturday?
Saturday sounds right. It's not Sunday. It's Saturday. It's got to be Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday evening.
We got
Rockies, Giants. We will be there. I don't know what to expect, but we're betting the over.
Yep.
I know that.
Yep.
I don't
Lots
care
of
how
home runs.
You can put it as high as you
Let's
want.
go. We're in.
I'm excited.
I am
It'll be
too,
my
Chris.
first time there, and then I'll have like 8 stadiums left to go.
That's awesome. I knew you were getting pretty close.
We're inching there.
I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you.
I think it's 8.
Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much. This is a longer episode. We know that we can get awfully mouthy when it comes to predictions and all that fun stuff, but it's been a fun episode. Thank you for sticking with us. Please follow us on all social medias. Don't forget about our YouTube, X, Instagram. Tell your friends. Please continue to listen. We appreciate all the interaction that we've had and continue to get. Chris, anything else?
No, just going to piggyback on you real quick. This was a long one, but this was a season in review, right? Yep. It's the All-Star break. We are going to release it Friday, so there technically will be games, but you could go back, throughout, first couple weeks of the, leading up to the deadline and keep checking it out and see, where we might be right, where we might be wrong. We also made a couple like weird trade predictions in this one.
Yeah. So,
keep sticking with us. Appreciate everybody who comes, hangs out, and listens. At Coach's Sons Pod, pretty much everywhere you want us to be. We aren't on TikTok, but that's okay because I don't know how to do that.
We're too old for TikTok.
I don't know. I feel like an old man in that regard. But anyway, thank you guys for all. Like I said, I love being a part of this community. Interact with us on Twitter. We try to be as active as we can there. But again, thank you guys for listening. That should do it for this one. What do you got?
Sounds good to me. Don't forget, in 2 weeks, we're going to be back. My name is Andrew,
I'm Chris.
and we're the Coach's Sons podcast.